Are you okay? Please social distance us also, Mr. Premier.
Thank you very much. Today we hosted President Cyril Ramaphosa as Gauteng province. As you may know, we started at Nasrec. That's the place where we have set up a quarantine and isolation facility. We moved from Nasrec to our food bank. Firstly, the central warehouse where we distribute the food from the donors from government to the different regions. We have 5 food banks in our province, and after that we visited Charlotte Makhura Hospital, which is where we are now. We briefed the president, as many of you were there, about the extent of the work that the provincial command center has been doing in our province. Firstly, in doing the things that need to be done, the basic things about tracing of contacts, screening and testing. We also briefed the president about the infrastructure preparation, that is getting the public health facilities in Gauteng province ready for the different phases of the development of this pandemic in our country. We shared with the president that at the moment we have 8,400 and a couple of beds that are ready both in the private and in the public sector. And we are going to add additional beds, which will take us to 10,000 beds. We are adding those beds in our existing facilities, including here in Charlotte Makhura. There will be additional, particularly ICU beds that will be used for COVID. We want to emphasize that what we shared with the president is that we are getting our whole public health care system to be ready, not just for COVID, but for giving good quality public health care to the people of our province. So the additional facilities that we are adding, we shared with the president, is that we want to first expand on our current infrastructure instead of putting up something that a few months later will be raised down. And lastly, we also shared with the president the fact that we do have some of our own public servants who have contracted COVID-19. We shared with the president the numbers, but personal protective equipment is one of the things we are paying close attention to in Gauteng province. We have sufficient stock at the moment for firstly our frontline workers, our public health workers, and secondly all the workers who are essential services workers, including our security and law enforcement agencies. We certainly, Mr. President, like to thank you for having been here today. The support of national government, given the challenge we face, is very, very important. As the province and our municipalities, we will not be able to succeed. We will not be able to cope. We know that this is still early, but we are very happy with how we have collaborated. The public and the private healthcare sector in Gauteng are collaborating very, very well. We are going to get more than 6,000 beds from the private sector for that crucial stage of the development of the pandemic. But we mustn't just rely on the private sector. We are also jacking up to increase capacity. Mr. President, we have also been able to bring in a lot of public health care workers back into our system. The MEC for Health has gone out on a big recruitment drive. We are increasing capacity with regard to personnel and staff. And here we're talking about the professionals in our healthcare system. And so that's what our day has been. We report to you all the time. So far in this phase, we have been able to do our best, but we are preparing for whatever may happen going forward. So we don't want to be complacent. We don't want to say that we are fully ready, but every day we are building additional capacity in the province, because this has been the epicenter, and we don't want to take things for granted to start thinking that we are far from the peak, actually. So that's what we would like to do. We need your support, Mr. President, including the support in not in dollars, in rands.